Yes, sirree. A very good morning to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world. In his mad haste, he kept on punching the wrong buttons here. Hello, pilgrims. Welcome to today's edition of Good Day Grenada. I'm George Grant, and today happens to be the third day of June 2019. If it hasn't been clear to many of you, the weather has changed. Got up this morning. It's totally overcast out there this morning. No signs of rain. I'm not saying it's not going to rain later on today, but absolutely no signs of rain now. Just a very high overcast, a type of cloud which we call stratocumulus, probably about 8 to 10,000 feet up there. Yeah, it's just kind of dull looking, but no signs of rain. However, we're hearing reports from all over the place that in the last few days or so they have been receiving rain. So I guess we have now seen the advent of the 2019 rainy season, if you will. And let's just hope it's going to be a reasonable season as far as hurricanes are concerned. I'm not saying no hurricanes, but you just never know. You never know. But just remember, the hurricane season officially began on the 1st of June, which was, when was it? Saturday? So don't be surprised to see already we've had Andrea, which was up near the Bermuda, I think it was. Didn't last long, just started up and fizzled out in a heartbeat. And right now, the weather guys are looking at a system near the Bay of Campeche. They say this one seems to be heading, it's still disorganized from what I saw just a few minutes ago, but this one could be heading in the direction of Mexico. Again, we don't have to be too concerned about that character, but it's just a warning to be on guard. Hurricane season is here, so please, if you have not yet done so, make your preparations. And you have a whole plate to choose from. There's so many things that need to be done. And it's not too late. It's not too late. The season is going to last until the 30th of November, I think. And don't just think about, waiting until they say, hey guys, there's a storm out there, to start running out to the grocery and picking up your canned foods and stuff like that. A lot of things you need to plan about. You've got overhanging trees in your garden or your neighborhood. Cut them down, or at least prune the branches, okay? Have you taken a look at your insurance policy? I mean, come on, let's assume that you get hit, you get really battered. Don't wait until after the fact to say, oh boy, am I going to be able to cope with this? Plan ahead, plan ahead. So we're going to keep you briefed as the days go by, and I hope that you're paying heed to these mini briefings, if you will. Let's, before I even get into the rundown this morning, I'm so anxious to see you guys. So anxious. Before I get into the rundown, let me take a look here and see who they and who do they. Well, I see that TF is saying good morning. Hi, Margaret. Peter Bishop's there. Margaret, oh gosh. Didn't take you long, Margaret, did it? Didn't take you long, Margaret. Margaret has her eye on my wardrobe, and she's saying here, OUNC pretty shirt. Yeah, Margaret. Yeah. What are we going to do with you? I keep saying, when God created you, he threw away the mold. You and a few others. Thanks, Max. Arthur is saying good morning. Benedict saying a marvelous Monday. And Glenna Knights, Bernard Gilbert, all saying good morning. You guys are so kind. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, It is, hello. Huh. It is 5 minutes after the hour already. As you know, on Monday mornings we don't usually have somebody coming in here, so we had to find some content. And I got my hands on some really neat stuff, which I think you're going to enjoy. First of all, many of you may have heard about an incident involving a cruise ship, the MSC Opera, which, while approaching the docks in Venice, they were involved in an incident. Well, we're going to show you that incident as it occurred, and also some of the aftermath. That piece runs, I think, about 9, almost 10 minutes, and kind of chilling to see this huge cruise ship coming at you. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a wee bit. Then, after that, we're going to go right into the National Report, which came in on Friday night. And then another interesting piece for you about racial discrimination. It's captioned here, racial discrimination as viewed by a white person. Yeah. Hang on there, folks. You really need to watch this one. In recent times, I'm seeing an awful lot of content in social media about racial discrimination. And I thought I should share this one with you because generally we see it from one perspective, but take another look at what you're going to be seeing in the second half of this morning's program. And then, he has not been with us for a couple of weeks, but Anthony, Anthony has recently done a piece which is captioned, "Me, this Grenadian." Yeah, Anthony is at it again, folks. Anthony is at it, and I think you're going to enjoy his little piece this morning. You'll hear phrases and names you haven't heard in eons, so stick around for that. Well, by the way, we have now been joined, let's see. Margaret says, well, John K. and Sharon not here, so I have to represent, and I know they would have picked that up. Yeah, especially John K. John's in the UK. He'll probably show up a little later on. I was surprised that on the weekend, even though John's on the road now, yes, he did chime in, and we were happy to hear from him. Joyce E. Smith is also saying good morning. Folks, yesterday, the cruise ship MSC Opera, during its approach maneuver to the port in Venice, hit the dock and ended up against another ship, the river ship, called River Countess. According to the first reconstruction of what happened, the ship had technical problems. The engines were apparently stuck in forward thrust, okay? Engines are pushing the ship towards the port. And two tugs were trying to pull the ship back from the stern. Slow it down, slow it down. They saw what was going to happen. But the tow cables broke, and the ship lost control and crashed into the San Basilio Pier, which is used by smaller ships. Just at, what's this? Just at this little pier with the smaller ships, the River Countess got hit and was badly damaged. What I can tell you at this time is that the last I heard, there were no deaths, but 5 persons were injured. And this figure is obviously not final. The investigation is going to take some time, and maybe later on today we'll hear about fatalities. I hope not, but because of the nature of the incident, and how serious it was, there is speculation that there could have been a lot more damage. This all took place at a time when Venice and its people are wondering about the possibility of banning large ships from entering the lagoon. And this event will certainly increase the controversy in this regard. This piece I'm about to show you shows the incident as it occurred and the aftermath. Take a look.
Apre questa!
do like we did here in Grenada, eh? I remember the days I used to work on the rum runner. Ships came in, ships would anchor offshore. That's a little way out from where the new cruise terminal is. And then they would bring their
Mami, dice que tira.
There's a little area at the bus terminal where you just walk up to the ramp and boy, you can get a spectacular view of the ships that are in port. Or you could even go into the Andos. You know, Andos has a supermarket down there. Well, if you are prepared to climb the steps and go upstairs to the restaurant, very much like the one you're looking at right now. See what I meant about the activity of the movement? That's what I was talking about. That's it. That's it. Again, look at the size of that baby. Ah. John, hey, John. Margaret mentioned you a little while ago, and she said you weren't here to comment on my shirt, so she was taking in front. John saying good morning, Gigi, in the word from Cornwall. Okay. Good to see you, John. That's work. Sharon, carry your laptop with you wherever you go in China. Good to see you. T.R. Richard says the good Lord was definitely in charge of that one. Because trust me, this could have been devastating. Absolutely, TM. Absolutely. Look at that activity in this building. We have so many vehicles that run and a lot of taxis between cruise terminal and that's some of them are TF says, George, we're hearing two audios. Look at that. Look at that. Close up. Hmm.
Terminaron las investigaciones en el puerto para que estamos esperando todos los salones y también turismos externos y de ofrecer el servicio gratis para todos los trabajos interna y también de la piscina. Gracias por la información. Esperando gracias a la
There you have it, folks. Kind of scary, eh? But again, let's be thankful. So far, no loss of life. Pilgrims, it's 20 minutes after the hour. Oh boy. Let's take our first little break here. Hold on a sec. Ashton says, I think someone was asleep at the wheel because the harbor master should have been communicating with the captains of both ships. The story I heard was that there were tugs at the stern of the Opera trying to pull it back. So it's not as if somebody was asleep at the wheel. Apparently, the throttles or thrusters, whatever that you push to increase power and push the ship forward, they got stuck. And it does happen. It's actually happened to me in an airplane, which is kind of scary. You know, you want to go down and you're pulling the throttle back and nothing happens. Yeah, talk about a change of diapers. Yes, sir. Benedict Cador said, did they use the tourist boat to stop the cruise ship? I don't think they did so intentionally, but apparently that's what happened, Benedict. Okay, Pilgrims, so much for that. Let's take a little break here, and we'll come on back with the National Report right after this.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company, tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive, motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary, public liability, professional indemnity, directors liability, and wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434.
Tell everybody.
Boy, yo, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up.
I'm coming. Karim, what you doing?
Fly my kite.
Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy.
Why not? The wind good.
Because mommy say, kite threads conduct electricity.
Yeah, Kite. He's right. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, it can cause power outages, or even worse, it can get shocked.
Come, they gonna fly them in the pasture.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kite threads conduct electricity. Do not fly kites near overhead power lines. This can lead to electric shocks and power outages. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, do not try to retrieve it. Release it and call GRENADAB. Always fly kites in open areas. Keep your kites far away from roads. And remember, always clean up after yourself.
GRENADAB, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority to launch mobile portability number on Monday. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the news for Friday, May 31st, 2019, I am Sherian Noel. The Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority, ECTEL, will officially launch the mobile number portability in Grenada on Monday. Mobile number portability enables consumers to keep their current mobile telephone numbers when switching from one mobile telephone operator to another. This service removes the inconvenience of phone users having to inform their contacts, family, and friends of a new number after changing their mobile service provider. ECTEL says the service will be launched in all 5 member states. A formal announcement was made on May 23rd at the 39th ECTEL Council of Ministers meeting in St. Lucia. ECTEL Council member and Grenada's Minister of Infrastructure Development, Public Utilities, Energy, Transport and Implementation, Honorable Gregory Boeing, says mobile customers in the Spice Isle have been expecting mobile number portability for quite a while.
In the case of Grenada in particular, I think that the consumers are looking to be able to switch between providers for better services and better pricing and the other. And I know that not only the providers will be put on notice, they are acutely aware. And in fact, because of the soft launches that have been done before while we're testing, you will see the migrations of people to each other. They will come to the ministry, they've asked what is going on because they want to move.
The MNP project began in 2015 with a decision by the ECTEL Council of Ministers to implement local number portability for both fixed and mobile phones. The introduction of the MNP means that consumers can now switch their attention to other telecommunications issues such as service quality, service offerings and price. Honorable Boeing said MNP will be beneficial to customers and will open up opportunities for the providers as well.
We must be able now to measure the quality of service, because I think persons coming for a new phone will look at what is the NTRC, what is ECTEL saying about this person's particular quality of service, and the new, so there's an opportunity for the provider to take the new customers. And at the same time, if they do not provide the quality of service, then you will see a shift across the board. So I think across the ECTEL states, the expectation is more or less the same.
Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, has encouraged traffic wardens to continue their good work and not to be deterred by any attempt to intimidate them. Traffic wardens were recruited, trained and deployed earlier this year to bolster the operations of the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Meeting with the 43 traffic wardens on Thursday, the Prime Minister said he is impressed with their work and he has also received positive feedback from members of the public. He urged the traffic wardens to understand that they have an important role to play in the overall stability and security of the country. He said this is not just a job you are carrying out, an important function. The significance of your role is not simply limited to traffic, but it must be seen in the wider context of stability and order of this country. As you provide support to the RGPF in dealing with traffic issues, police officers can then dedicate more time to dealing proactively with crime so that Grenada can protect its image as one of the countries with the least amount of crime.
We believe the police have enough work, so they need support specific in an area becoming more and more problem, and they should be less involved directly in the question of traffic. So that was how the concept was born. It's in the whole context of security, not just limited to traffic, a traffic jam. It's much deeper than that, right? So see yourself as not just as a passing element in this important, in this area. You are part of an essential component of the stability and order of this country. I want you to first understand this. But I go further to make the point. When I pass the street and I see you guys, you have already demonstrated that you feel a sense of importance. Because I watch your faces as I go around, and you look proud to be wearing the uniform. And you make me proud to see how you look. And it tells me that you don't see this as just a job. You see that as an important function of responsibility for your own society.
The Prime Minister and Minister for National Security told traffic wardens to have no fear in executing their duties.
Some people try to scare you, to make you afraid of them. You ought not to be afraid of anything. Just do your work. Do your work. If you see something wrong on the road, you have to apply a measure of penalty to it. For doing it, do it. And fear no one, because you have the full backing of the law behind you and the country behind you. because people are already speaking about the discipline that they're seeing among yourselves. People are proud to see you guys out there. I'm telling you, I get it from the public. That's why I'm giving you what I get. If you were not doing that, I would tell you exactly what I'm hearing today. So I just want you, do not allow anyone to scare you off from doing what is right. If you allow them, then you're allowing them to affect your own future and your job. They have theirs. You want to keep yours. So therefore, my real advice to you, keep on doing what you're doing. We will be behind you, and you will feel a sense of satisfaction for the work that you're producing to the country as a whole.
Thursday's meeting was also attended by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, Public Utilities, Energy and Transport, Ms. Kim Frederick, Acting Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin, Assistant Commissioner of Police Jesmond Prince, and Officer in charge of the Traffic Department, Superintendent Randy Carnott. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The countdown is on to Grenada's most exciting music festival. Friday, 7th June is Sol EC Limited Rhythm and Soul Night with Kerry Hilson, the legendary Freddie Jackson, Eddie Bullen, and Jefferson Ramirez. Saturday, 8th June is Wester Hall Rum Reggae Fest featuring Busy Signal, Maxi Priest, Kimani Marley, Tamara St. Bernard, and more. The festival climaxes on Sunday, 9th June with a George F. Huggins Soca Fusion featuring the All-Stars with Tennyson John and Blacks, Patrice Roberts, West Ways, Jab King, and more. Gates open 7 p.m., showtime 9 p.m. Advance tickets $80 Friday and Saturday, $60 on Sunday, and are available island-wide. Limited VIP and season tickets at Grenada Optical and GoToFet.com. Grenada Music Festival 2019. Get your tickets today. Sponsors: Silver Sands Grenada, Hennessy, the Antillian Group, Coca-Cola, St. George's University, Glen Elch Springwater, and Netherlands Insurance.
Possessing the ability to speak a second or even third language is essential in today's world. The Alliance Francaise is working with grade 6 students of the St. Martin de Porres RC School to stir their interest in the subject at an early age. The 4-week program introduces the students who are gearing up to commence secondary school in September to basic greetings and responses. Rikisha St. Louis paid a visit to the school and filed this report.
With reports that the number of students writing French at the CXC level has been dwindling over the years, the Alliance Francaise wants to revive interest in the language. The number of students attending private French lessons offered by the institution is also getting smaller. Director at the Alliance Francaise, Mrs. Ilona Fort Gilbert, said by introducing French in primary schools, there is hope that most students will develop an interest and continue to study the language at the CXC level and beyond.
Brainstorming to see how we can curb that problem, see how we can try to control it at the root. I came up with the idea that maybe we should try to see how we can introduce it at the primary level, because there was a program introducing French at the primary level a few years ago. It was financed by the French embassy, but it didn't pull through, right? So I thought that I'll start with one school, and of course, since this is my alma mater, I was biased towards this school, so I decided to offer my voluntary service to this school and eventually see how we could extend it to other schools in the coming years.
She says the program also highlights the importance of the language and the many professions available locally within the French industry.
We have a growing French community. We have about 60 persons here on the island, French nationals, and then we have French cruise ships coming in every year. You know, so we need to be able to accommodate these people. They go to the supermarkets, they go to the banks, they do business. There should be people in these business places who can at least have a basic conversation with these people when they come.
Principal Castellanes is optimistic that the program will be expanded to include other grades in the school.
The students, as they are learning the French, throughout the compound, you're hearing them reciting the words, reciting the phrases, the occupations, and so that they're learning. And the other students are hearing also, and they are catching on into it. So it is our hope that somewhere along the line we would be able to incorporate the other students into learning, and we believe that this can have a ripple effect, because we do hope that in the future some of the students who start their French classes here can go on, complete their secondary education, maybe go on to tertiary education, and at the end of it return to the school so that they can give back.
The students are enjoying the program and shared some of what they have learned.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Selena McIntyre. It is very good. I'm enjoying myself actually. It's really fun to learn another language. Bonjour, je m'appelle Destiny Abraham. I really enjoyed the French class. I learned the alphabet, how to say I don't understand, how to say yes miss, how to say no miss, how to say I know, how to say what is your name, and lots of other stuff.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Showing Waterlina. I think French helped me by having a good head start in secondary school, so I can be a little farther than the other students in secondary school.
For the National Report, I am Rakisha St. Louis.
And finally, the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force took its message of road safety to the streets this week, with students and teachers from St. George's adding their voices to the initiative. It is part of Police Week activities under the theme, United We Stand to Fight Against Sexual Abuse and Violent Crimes, promoting road safety and practicing healthy lifestyles. With as many as 200 reported cases of accidents per month, 10 of which are serious, the RGPF used Wednesday's exercise to appeal to drivers and pedestrians to ensure safety on the road. Inspector Randall Batiste, officer attached to the Traffic Department, says the public must meet them halfway to ensure life and limb are protected.
The Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force will continue to do what is necessary to ensure that our roads users are kept safe on nation roads, and the ways we'll go about doing this is by having regular mobile and radar patrol, meaning that we'll have officers up there doing a number of speed checks, and we'll be doing a lot of nightly and weekly traffic checks and traffic operations to ensure that we keep the road safe and deal with all illegal activities that may occur during our presence on the road. We chose that by having these regular checks, it will definitely aid in a deterrent to prevent crimes, to prevent traffic offenses from being committed. And that will be a plus for us if our presence can be of a deterrent. We'll have less offenses, traffic offenses being committed on our roads. And if we can cut down on the amount of traffic offenses on our roads, that in itself will aid in a reduction of accidents and will definitely make our road much safer.
He commended the exemplary work of the traffic wardens who are helping to increase road safety.
As we know now, we have a number of wardens working throughout the Tri-Island state, and traffic by no means least has about 11 to 14 wardens operating, and they are doing a very, very good job at this time in giving human resource that is most needed right now at the Traffic Department, dealing with all different traffic infractions. So I want to say hats off to them and commend them for the job they have been doing thus far.
Now to recap the top story. Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority to launch mobile portability number on Monday. And with this, we come to the end of the National Report for Friday, May 31st. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.
something you didn't hear about in that report was, and for obvious reasons, that report came out on Friday night, but on Saturday, another loss of life on the roads here in Grenada. This one took place down in Lansepine, Saturday sometime. It involved a motorcycle. Apparently the rider of that motorcycle lost his life, and 2 automobiles. Not sure of the details. We have not heard anything from the police, but this was all over Facebook on the weekend. So please, what can I do? Just ask people to be a little bit more careful when driving. We've had a rash of road accidents in this place. It's pathetic what's happening. Oh, by the way, there's something I wanted to comment on here. Margaret, watching that little piece with the youngsters who were learning French, you probably noticed a young girl by the name of Destiny, and she had a red bow in her hair, right over her forehead. And I sat here and I thought, oh my goodness, there's a young Margaret, young Max. Did you wear one of those as a kid? If you did, send us a picture. I think we could do with a good laugh. All right? Thanks. Would appreciate that. Now, straight face. Folks, whatever you do, I don't want you to miss the next piece that's coming up. It's about discrimination. It's no laughing matter. It's very serious. And I guarantee you, you will be moved by what you're about to see and hear. Please make sure you're able to stick around for that. But first, let's take a little break here. Come right back.
A natural disaster can change your life in minutes. Preparation is the best protection for your family and business. Prepare now. Create a disaster plan and make sure everyone knows what to do. Store water, non-perishable food, and medication. Remember basic emergency supplies such as batteries and flashlights. Trim overhanging trees. If trees near power lines are unsafe to trim, call GRENADA at 237 for assistance or advice. Install surge protectors to safeguard your electrical devices against outages and intermittent surges. For more information, visit grenadac.com.
Grenadac, energizing our Grenada.
My name is Jennifer James, and I've been making confectionaries for the past 7 years. Growing up as a little girl, I always wanted to make these little things. Fudge, sugar cake, tamarind ball, these little things. I read something actually, and it said that tamarind itself is very good because it eliminates fat from the liver. You get the mature tamarind and you crack it, you shell it out. I would add a little baking soda, some spices. I would leave it to rest probably for about 2 hours and then add my sugar and just start kneading. I usually knead it hard enough so that I can roll it. When I finish roll it, I will paste it with the actual white or brown sugar and you have a nice tamarind ball. I have been providing food fair with tamarind ball about 6 years now. I started producing tamarind ball to sell for the school children. I thought I could advance somewhere. So I went to food fair and I asked one of the sales persons there if they would be interested in selling my tamarind ball. And she told me yes. She told me to bring 20 packets to start with. It was really a joy for me because I wanted to extend on my little business. My name is Jennifer James and I work with the food fair to provide you with tamarind balls.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Quad Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
Folks, we've just been joined by, I'm assuming she just joined us, Sharon. Sharon is out in the UK enjoying World Cup cricket. And she chimed in here. I guess she saw that piece in the National Report where youngsters are learning French. She says here, "Hi everyone, it is so important for children to learn a second language. 3 of my grandchildren, ages 7, 3, and almost 2, speak both Spanish and English, but are better at Spanish." Yeah, very important, Sharon. Thanks for chiming in. Now, listen up. The world is aware that racial discrimination is rampant in the United States. But not just there. It's alive and well right here in Grenada as well. Maybe not to the extent that it is in the United States and other more developed countries. And more often than not, we hear from black communities complaining about the discrimination by whites, which may leave some with the feeling that whites are the only people in the world who discriminate racially. But that is not the case. As you're about to see, you're about to watch a white lady who is appalled about the way in which her people treat blacks. Her name is Jane, and this video comes from a platform called Black Novo. I have no idea how long this video has been around, but I do know that the lady's name is Jane and that it has moved thousands of people. I hope it touches your heart as well. Here's Jane.
And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, "The main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country." He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you exactly, almost exactly what he says. He says there are 3 things we can do to solve this. Number 1, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you?
Can you talk a little bit about the trauma associated with?
The trauma associated with it? Yeah. One of the main traumas is it tells white people that they are superior because of the lack of melanin in their skin. And then they find out suddenly that we've got a black president. That's traumatic. That's where the trauma is. Living a lie, finding out the truth, is traumatic. Finding out now, recently, that within 30 years, white people will be in the numerical minority in this country is going to be traumatic. White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present. What we do in the present constructs the future. We called the Japanese, and you'll pardon me, but this is what we called them, slant-eyed little yellow We didn't say that about the Germans. After the war, we rebuilt Germany and Japan, and we get along beautifully with the Japanese. That was in 1945 that we finally won that war. How many years ago was that? Figure that out quickly.
I'm not a math person, but...
You're not a math person, but you know it wasn't that far. Right. And it didn't take 50 years for us to have peace with the Japanese and the Germans, even though we dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. The Japanese hadn't killed 10 million people. Nowhere near that. We didn't drop any bombs on Germany, any atomic bombs on Germany. They were a different kind of people. We couldn't afford to do that. We killed how many Japanese people with 2 atomic bombs? And they forgave us. You want to talk about forgiveness? You want to talk about changing this thing? I cannot understand how Japanese people can stand the sight of any of us, and yet they do. I cannot understand why black people who have been subjected to the ugliness that they've been subjected to in this country can get up every morning and go to work among us and not be absolutely furious. And I don't understand why we allow white people to behave the way they do. I don't understand that. And my 3rd graders, after they'd gone through the exercise, couldn't understand it and wouldn't tolerate it. And when they went up to junior high and a junior high teacher used the N-word, one of my former students said, if you're going to use that word, I'm going to go out in the hall until you stop using it, because we don't use that word in this school. That was a 7th grader who told his teacher off. When we have enough students who are willing to confront people who are making racist, sexist, ageist, homophobic statements, we're going to be better off. We have got to stop tolerating the intolerable. If it's intolerable for my black cousins, and every black person on this earth is one of my cousins, if it's intolerable for them, it's intolerable for me. I will not tolerate it. I will not tolerate it. I am required not to tolerate that kind of treatment for the people who are related to me. And that's every person on the face of the earth. If your ignorance is such that you'll mistreat somebody because of your ignorance about the color of their skin, don't do it around me. Number 1, I've been threatened with death lots of times. Now I say, go for it, fool. My husband died 4 years ago. Being with him would not be a bad thing for me. Death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Living a worthless, useless life is much worse than dying.
Powerful piece, folks. Powerful. Her name is Jane Elliott, and I certainly hope that has broadened your perspective of racial discrimination. Pilgrims, I'm going to take one more quick little break here, and then we'll come back with Anthony DeRiggs. Hang on.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Mouth Open Story Jump Out comes to Brooklyn and Washington, D.C., featuring the humor and storytelling of Ricardo Kings Douglas.
They say she comes all the way up here to Toronto to shop for cosmetics and go back down.
Roll back the years in Brooklyn with Lord Nelson. Also in the Brooklyn concert, Quick USA. And in Washington, Diane and Friends and Julian Moore. Washington, D.C., Saturday, June 8th. And Father's Day, Sunday, June 16th in Brooklyn at the Tropical Reflection Ballroom on 4501 Glenwood Road from 6 p.m. It's the perfect Father's Day treat. Tickets, $30 in advance. Available at Eventbrite and popular outlets. Or call 347-350-4285 in Brooklyn and 240-460-0442 in Washington, D.C., Maryland. Brooklyn. Special guest, the Mighty Sparrow, will be joined by cultural ambassadors and preservationists to be recognized with New York State proclamations. They include Lord Nelson, Derek Vento, Heron Rockin' J. Douglas, Gentle Benjamin, Lambert, and the Matadors, and the Quake USA Cultural Organization. Additionally, 2 lucky patrons will get to stay free at the award-winning Blue Horizons Garden Resort in Grenada for 3 nights, including breakfast and a dinner at La Belle Creole Restaurant, sponsored by Tropical Reflection Ballroom, Blue Horizon Gardens Resort, The Penny Firm, Caribbean Times Newspaper, Dr. Derek Lezama, Century 21 Achievers Realty, Attorney Glenroy George, The Otley Law Firm, and Funk Media NYC. Washington, D.C. Saturday, June 8th, and Brooklyn, Father's Day. Mouth open, story jump out.
Alrighty, folks, time now to take another trip down memory lane with Anthony DeRiggs. Some of the old-time slangs and the names in this piece are sure to bring back an awful lot of memories. Here is Anthony with a piece which he is titled, Me, This Grenadian.
Me, This Grenadian, Part 2, by Anthony Wendell DeRiggs. Me, this Grenadian, who ate a cake called Rock and a ginger cake called Fonte. I ate leavened bread, Johnny Bakes, penny bread, and Vienna bread. Me who pound the plantain in mortar with a pestle, and I ate cornmeal porridge, cocoa, asham, and pineapple tart. I devoured Mammy May's fish cake she sold in River Road, and Miss Eve's nut sweetie she sold by Mother Rose School. Me this Grenadian who lime a thing, and I ran away when she father asked, "What is your intention, boy?" Well, he knew what my intention was. Me this Grenadian who peeped before I creep, like the Calypsonian Super P. This Grenadian who will cuss Suzanne, put to bad word in she backside, but we go meet up, we go make up and hug up like a true Grenadian. Yes, this Grenadian. Me this Grenadian who rolled a dumpling and push it on their coal pot while a corn roasted on top. I ate conky wrapped in blogo leaf, snow cone, soursop block, and Nix, and Franco and Pebbles ice cream. But I put the condensed milk in my head when Mammy was not looking, and I stuck 2 fried jacks in my pocket too. Me this Grenadian who danced the strong man. I danced the magnificent 6 harmony with brass, Exodus, Moss International, and Black Experience Band. Grenada had a lot of big bands, brass bands, combos, back in the time. Big party in the Lansden, Baines. Before that, Grenada Beach Club, the Cubby Hole, BBC, and Clancy's Lego Beach Island. Me this Grenadian who pull fishnet in Guave. Me teacher Dunstan, Marshy, and teacher Kenny. This Grenadian who pull water grass for goat, but was afraid to go for the goat when night fell. You know why? Me afraid Jumbie. Me this Grenadian who put load on donkey's back, and the damn donkey refused to move. The donkey lie down. That's the one thing about donkey. You can put all the load you want, put all the load you want. The donkey ain't going nowhere. I picked nutmeg, till my back cry out. Me who joined Susu, and I got the first hand to buy a fridge. Me this Grenadian, boy I Lego one big one in church. The priest reacted as if he got Bazodi. After that, I was forced to hold the rest of them till I left the church. Then a woman asked me, "Hey boy, what perfume you wearing there, boy?" I said, "A new one from France, Breadfruit Le Plume." She said, "Oh, I want that at all." I said, "Okay." Me this Grenadian who tried my best in class because I was afraid to end up last. Me this Grenadian who listened to Pastor Wiggins from Barbados Now back in the 60s, he preached in a big tent in Tantine, and he told the woman, if the men don't want to marry you, leave them. So a lot of fellas lost their woman, and people lost their money, because Pastor Wiggins went to Barbados with all the money. Me this Grenadian who made grandma cuss when I opened my umbrella in the house. I sang, ring a rung a rosy. Wait, boy, stop that. Who you want to kill now? Stop that song. Grandma said those songs brought bad luck. No ring songs in this house. And no, brown girl in a ring, tra-la-la. Don't sing that too. Not in this house. Me this Grenadian who sat in the moonlight and told Nancy stories. But I was afraid. I was frightened by the blogo leaf blowing in the midnight breeze. They look like men out there who were ready, jumpy and lajabless, ready to grab you. This Grenadian who played with starlight and skyrocket at Christmas time. And I sat in Empire and Regal, Reno Cinema to watch midnight shows. I even got a pass from Big Bear and a fella called Saltfish to see the movies Hell and Back, Madam X, and Django. Me this Grenadian who wore punkasal, washikang, and gym boots, but not me and dog muscle shoes or dog bed pants. This Grenadian who sported a brand new short jack and wore pointed tip and platform shoes, and I walk all over the place with my nice bell-bottom pants. Me this Grenadian who ate blood pudding, potato pudding, and I drank Kool-Aid. Boy, and when things was hard, a corned beef and rice was very, very nice. Corned beef and rice saved so many Grenadian family. Me this Grenadian who made a top, and with it, I split my own partner top. So what he did, he took away all my marbles. So I made a bamboo kite, because there were other things to make, like crab traps and spinning cutters back then. Me this Grenadian who saw Queen's birthday parade and noticed all the old soldiers marching decked off in their medals. This Grenadian who read about Bear Nancy, Compy Zaire, Bear Rabbit, Compy Tig, Nola on the farm, and a story about Rainstorm who got stuck in a hole in the sky, and she began to weep. And as she weep, that's how rain fell. Boy, in them days they tell us all kind of stupidness. Me this Grenadian who remembers words like scratch up. Bully scratching up people. Cocos. Boy, all your cocos. Dr. Shop. Manje, Popot, Kakapol, Kakaj, and Kokobe. I bathed in Bathway, Paradise Beach, the Spout, and even the Bushery. And I bathed in Lassages Beach too. I took a George Otway bath in a piping Tantine, but I had to hide from them big macos. They love to peep at people too much. Yes, me this Grenadian. Look, man, I sitting here in Brooklyn, New York. I still eating my fish cake and having my oil down. I like my bakes and I drinking my cocoa tea. Sometimes I wax poetic, especially when I see snowflakes dancing on the window. But I feel sad because there is no rainfly, no congaree, no Jack Spaniard, or no Zandoli. None of them is visible. But that's why I take a trip to the Spice to be baptized again. Yes, sir. Me this Grenadian. A breadfruit tree is a wonderful tree. An apple tree is a wonderful tree. But an apple tree will never be a breadfruit tree. So the differences that we have make the world so great. Yes, me this Grenadian is so witty. Anthony Wendell the Riggs.
All right, Anthony. Thanks a lot. You have a way with words, don't you? Pilgrims, we've gone over time again this morning. It's 5.5 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for joining us. One parting word from the Holy Scriptures. You're inspirational as we pull the curtain down. And this comes to you from the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 9 to 13. Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Encouraging? I think so. Matthew 24, verses 9 to 13. And my dear friends, on that note, Georgie Porgy is going to hightail it out of here. He's already had breakfast, so he ain't going to talk about going to feed his face this morning. Thanks a lot for joining us, and by God's grace, let's get together again tomorrow morning for another edition of Gudday Grenada. Spread the word, by the way.